All right, welcome back to the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. Former West Virginia basketball coach Bobby Huggins was arrested Friday night for allegedly driving under the influence here in Pittsburgh. He didn't even know he was in Pittsburgh, from what the police report said, Colin.
Yeah.
He resigned not soon after. Where does West Virginia go right here? And is this a black eye on the university?
I don't think it's on the university. I think it's more so on Bob Huggins. I'll tell you where you won't find me on the Bob Huggins compassion train. That's for sure. Guy's almost 70 years old. His blood alcohol was 0.21, and he made the decision to drive. It's his second DUI in a crowded metropolitan area. Spare me the "it's sad" or the, you know what? If there's a guy down the street, he wasn't a basketball coach, nobody would have any compassion for him. He put a lot of people in danger, not just himself. I have absolutely no compassion for somebody who chooses to do that.
There were 75,000 people at a stadium,
including my 12-year-old daughter walking a block and a half away. You won't find me. It's a guy that made that conscious decision to do that, and I don't think DUI is punished enough in our country. And I think that Bob Huggins, if he's got a problem, that's on him. Whenever you put innocent people in jeopardy and their lives in jeopardy, you're not going to find me calling it sad or being compassionate. And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's sad either.
Yeah, I mean, he got what he deserved. Or, he's out of a job now. His career's over. This is going to be the way his career ends. I don't know if, he goes to another school. Probably not. Probably. I mean, especially you combine the last two incidents he's happened now. And, I don't, you're right. I agree with what you're saying. I don't want to call it sad, but it's just like that's going to be his this last 6 weeks of his career.
It's never been easier to not drink and drive than in 2023 if you have money.
He's a millionaire. What about Uber?
Right.
We all do it.
Well, Andrew, I think it'll be either Andy Kennedy or Ron Everhart, and they'll steward the program for a year and go from there.
Well, I think they're making a mistake if they if they bring somebody else in who's a Huggins guy, because I think you're sending the message in that way, like, hey, we still like this guy, we still adore this guy, we just can't have him as the coach anymore because of his reckless decision making. I'd want to turn the page if I could. Actually, what I would do is I'd call John Beeline right now and say, what are you doing? You want to coach again? And just have him be the Band-Aid on that program for as long as he wants to do it. Because we know he can win there, and what he wants to be, a college basketball head coach. He's on the short list of best coaches in the entire country.
Yeah, he's like a player director,
That's what I would do.
So you don't think they can find an up-and-coming guy right now? Is it too late?
If
in the process?
Yeah.
I think it's too late to actually hire someone who's a full-time, long-term replacement.
If you go that route, I would throw money at Pat Kelsey at the College of Charleston and see if you could get him to jump. That's the one guy I'd see if I could get the jump. Other than that, I think you'd be okay. I disagree with Andrew in a way. I think you'd be okay to steward the program for 1 year with a guy like Everhart or a guy
No, I
like
agree with that. I mean, but if you bring somebody in if you hire someone from outside like Frank Martin, who's Huggins light, I don't want to do that. If I'm them. If I'm a new AD, I don't want that to be my first big decision. I'm going to hire one of Bob Huggins' friends to be his full-time replacement.
Now, do you guys think that maybe West Virginia should have turned a page 6 weeks ago when he was on the Cincinnati radio station and made those comments?
Well, here's why I think that there are some, yes, I'll answer that question, yes. Because I think there's enough people who are close to the situation who don't think he was sober for that interview, who think that his drinking problem was why he was willing to say those things on a 30,000-watt radio station live. I mean, you're not lucid when you do that. He's been public speaking his entire life.
Right.
So something was amiss and awry then, and a lot of people have connected dots on that. So
I did the math. The guy makes $8,800 a day. $8,800 a day. A lot of people in this country don't make that a month. Again, there's no violins for me for Bob Huggins. He made his bed. He's almost 70 years old. He's had almost 50 years to responsibly drink, and if he can't do it, it's on him.
I mean, it's obvious he couldn't lead the program anymore. There's too many bad decisions here. They're easily correctable, or easily things that any reasonable person wouldn't do. So he couldn't continue in the job, that's for sure. Now, he's a West Virginia guy. It is what it is. But yeah, this is going to be his. The obituary comes after him, whenever that is, how many years from now. This is going to be in the lead.
He could have hired a driver, Uber. I mean, it's all available now. All right, we got to take a break. Back to wrap things up. Coming up next. Stay right there.